This is part 2 of covering masks for TwistedBrush Pro Studio. Previously we talked about the mask tools on the toolbar and the masking brushes, and we talked briefly about some of the options from the mask menu. We'll cover some more of those now. Let's go and erase our current work and go up to create a new layer here. So now we're on the second layer. Let's create a simple rectangle mask. Let's do that again with full opacity. One thing to point out, masks fit into the undo and redo system. So if you make a mistake, you can reverse it and bring it back again if you like. So now we have a couple of shapes here for mask. One thing to point out, which is really handy, is the mask filter menu item here. Basically that allows you to apply any of the standard Twisted Brush filters to your current mask. Commonly you may want to apply blurs or some of the distortion effects to a mask. Other ones may not make as much sense, but the option still does exist to make use of those. And when we're done, we see we have our mask, which had a filter applied to it, and of course as before, it protects what's underneath. Also wanted to point out that right now I have the mask on full opacity, so you can't see anything that's underneath it. By default, actually the mask is normally showed at 50% transparent, so you can both see the mask and what's underneath it. You can switch that from the Edit Preferences menu. Mask displayed as opaque. If you uncheck that, we could see how now the mask really will be transparent. You could also change the colors that are associated with the checkered pattern for your mask. So if we turn off the mask for a moment and apply some paint and turn the mask back on, we could now see that even though the mask is at full strength, we could see what's underneath it, and we see we can't paint underneath it though. Some of the other options here that are handy to know. Let's start anew. Say you create a mask that you want to save. What you can do is make use of a layer to save your mask and then create a different mask, and you could always return to it. So right now I'm on a layer which is blank. You can go to the mask menu and select create image from mask. So now we've created, in effect, an image which we could later turn back into a mask. We could hide that and work on other layers. We should turn off the mask or clear it. Let's clear the mask. See, the mask is gone. Now if we wanted to return back to that mask, we could go to this layer and say create mask from image luminance. Now we've returned back to the mask that we previously had. And you can go to different layers and that mask is in effect. You could edit the mask and then still go back to the layer where you've stored your image of a mask and always return to it again. So when you're working on masks, sometimes it's good to have multiple sets of masks that you can work with and switch using that technique.